Still Wakes the Deep is a movie, not a game. But before we get into that, this is the Byra D, the safest OSHA certified vessel ever to be put in a game. And it's the setting for our story, so get comfortable as we review Still Wakes the Deep, also known as The Thing, but Scottish. This game preys on the fear of the unknown. You're faced off against an otherworldly enemy and have to fight for your life. And at times, you can feel completely hopeless. At the time of writing, I haven't finished the game, but if it were to end in a bitter way, I would not be surprised. So where does this sense of hopelessness come from? Well, this game hosts a very creative antagonist, so much so that it's difficult to predict its capabilities. Is it a sea-dwelling creature that just awakened from its slumber? Is it a hallucination?
Jesus, Kat, it's Kate's birthday.
What do you mean it's her birthday? That's no for months. Zeus.
Or maybe it's the true horrors of the oil industry. Those questions were purposefully never answered, and they successfully inflict paranoia.
Is there something in there with him?
Trust me.
What's wrong with Rafts?
I don't know, alright? Decompression shouldn't be this bad.
This paranoia is combined with the lack of jump scares, making it even more effective.
Oh no.
Instead, the game relies on chase scenes that I didn't have a problem with. They weren't that scary.
Fucking
Move it!
no! No! It's coming.
Jesus Christ, that was close.
I don't want to do that again.
Now, here's something I want to tell you. The game is very on rails, but let me tell you why I think this is a good thing. And it's actually one of the things the game does the best. For starters, it makes the game extremely playable for pretty much anyone, even your grandma, as long as she doesn't suffer from heart problems. And while playing this game, I never felt the need to look up a walkthrough. But also, when this guidance is subtly added, it keeps the game engaging. Pair this with the fact that the game is also very short form, coming in at about 4 hours, it begins to feel like a movie. Even during the most boring parts, it finds a way to make it entertaining. Like in this scene where I'm just climbing down a ladder and the intercom is on. Overall, the game feels very fluid and is easy to enjoy. However, there are some problems that we're about to go over. So, for the execution category, I present the game with an 8 out of 10. Let me preface this by saying the game has very intuitive mechanics. One of my favorite parts is the quick times. They have the creativity of a Telltale game but don't magically slow down time, which means you need good reflexes, which is ultimately better for immersion.
Actually supposed to do that? Supposed to jump onto the helicopter? Alright. Don't screw this up. Oh. Okay. Alright. Hope it doesn't shake! Oh, it's falling!
For fuck's sake!
But the biggest flaw with this game is the repetitiveness. Remember how I said your grandma could play this game? Well, that's nice, but the game is so easy that doing mundane tasks like putting out a fire with the most conveniently placed fire extinguisher becomes a chore, rather than a brain exercise.
Alright, where's the fire extinguisher?
And it's not just that. Look at all the times I got stuck behind steam and had to turn a valve.
Lefty-loosey, ratty-tighty.
It's just constant minor slowdowns that don't feel rewarding. But something I do like in this game is the switches and levers. I could make a whole video just on these.
In order. Come on.
Wait. 1, 2, then what? Oh, 3.
It actually feels like I'm pressing them. Anyway, do you remember how I said the game was like a movie? Well, it is, and you're more along for the ride than you are playing. There's been a lot of critics of the game saying it's just pressing W, and while I do think that's partially true, it's also a massive oversimplification and straight up harsh. Like, there's still A, S, and D. But really, the game starts to slow down towards the end, and there's a lot of time-consuming tasks that just seem like poor level design. Being stuck waiting an event while a monster circles back and forth in front of me, or strenuously scaling down one of the legs of the rig just doesn't sit right with me. Unfortunately, the switches are probably one of my favorite things in this category. And these are the reasons why I'm about to give this category a potentially controversial rating. So, for the mechanics category, I present this game a 6 out of 10. However, there really is a lot more to the game than just mechanics. Oh, and did I mention the Switch? One of the first things that stuck out to me while playing this game was the voice acting.
I don't care if it feels off. Just fucking do it, or I'll come down there myself. Is that trouble with the missus? You're fired.
And it's not just the quality of it either, it's the way it's implemented into the game. It's extremely reactive.
Alright, I'm going in the water.
Sometimes even too reactive.
I was a little dramatic, but okay.
And it's this incredible acting that helps to form a genuine connection with the characters.
Life is like football. It's not over until the final whistle. Aye, you're a Barnsley fan, so you're pretty much fucked from the off, right? Oh, I will see you hand for that, McCleary. I really do. I saw something out on the deck. I didn't stay to look. It just scared the shit out of me.
Now let's look at the sound effects and the music. A good soundtrack for a game or movie is one that you don't hear. Ideally, you want the audio to complement the visuals in a way that doesn't stand out. And while playing Still Wakes the Deep, none of the music or sound effects stood out to me. In fact, I was so immersed that watching it back makes me question whether or not I've even heard these noises before. So, how are these sounds made? Well, the developers of this game actually made their own instrument, or rather a sculpture, that mimics the sounds of the rig.
A sculpture which he affectionately named the rig. And it's brilliant because every surface of it can be tapped, bowed, scraped, or rubbed.
So clearly the game has incredible, or at least creative, sound design. But what about the environments themselves? Well, the rig is completely reused throughout the game. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's done very well. Take a look at these two scenes. One is before the rig has issues, and one is after. This visual drew on a very despairing feeling when I saw it for the first time.
Oh, they're closed. I was kind of hungry.
Remember the guy that was in the submarine earlier? Well, the reuse of the levels actually shows us what happened to him.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, I guess he got it open.
The game also has some awe-inspiring sights, which are very hard to virtually replicate. Still, it is a horror game, so it has some amazingly freaky body horror. My biggest gripe in this category is the design of the hitboxes and the environment. And these reasons are why, for the environment category, I am happy to present this game with a 9 out of 10. Because I want you to be able to play the game, I will avoid spoilers for the first half of the story section. So let's start from the beginning. The initial introduction of this game is very captivating, but there's an obvious lack of backstory. This lack of prior connection did affect my gameplay. We'll talk about that later. What this game does better than other horror games is a main focus on the story. I've already said it, but the game is like a movie. And it's not a Children of the Corn movie either, it's really good. But despite all the backstory problems, I still was able to feel a genuine connection to the characters. Caution, major spoilers incoming! And the story might have some flaws. There are phone calls where we get to meet new characters and then immediately hear their last moments. There are also some predictable parts, but this game is unique because it's not just about horror. It has themes about family, loss, loneliness, and that's what sets it apart. I was genuinely distraught when this game ended. It has its quirks, but making it through a game is something rare that happens for me, and I was able to do it in one sitting. Maybe the game isn't worth $35, but if you get it off Game Pass, it's a steal.